So, hey guys, Bats here, and today we are finally back with another drug story. Now, I know it's been a long time, but honestly, I've just been a lazy shit and, just have not gotten around to making a video. But, I'm thinking, about, starting to upload these more consistently and focusing more on drug stories and music and shit. So I don't know if I'm gonna make any more funny moments videos or anything, or the highly edited shit, because I'm honestly too lazy to do that shit, and these videos are pretty easy to make and they seem to do pretty well. So honestly, I think I'm gonna stick to these videos from now on. But anyway, I don't really have much to say before this video starts, except you guys should go check out my album. I just dropped an album. It's called Mood Swings. It's just, it's all this different styles of music that I listen to personally, and I was just trying to show some versatility and whatnot in this project compared to my last EP, which is basically the same genre the whole time. But anyway, yeah, go check that out if you want to, or don't. I'm not your dad, but anyway, let's get into the video. I should stop stalling. So today, we're going to be talking about my best shroom trip. Now, I don't know the exact dose, but I'm pretty sure it was probably somewhere around 5 grams, the first dose. And I dosed 2 times in the day. The second time was probably closer to 3 grams. So a total of almost 7 grams for the day. And I was fucking zooted, let me tell you, boys. Now, I don't remember everything exactly in chronological order, so some of this is going to be out of place. I'm just going to be kind of saying shit as I remember it, and because some things come back to me at out of order. So yeah, this is probably going to be a fucking timeline mess, but let's just get into it. So anyway, one day I woke up and, I was really fucking bored. I was sober, I didn't really have shit, and, I was just dude, this fucking sucks. But then I remembered that my cousin had recently gotten some shrooms, right? Now, he was out at work, and I was okay, if I can find this shit, dude, I have to do some. I have to get zooming, because I did not want to be sober, and I didn't want to go all the way to the store to get DXM, so I was dude, fuck it. So I went, and, I searched around for a little bit, and eventually I find this, the bag of shrooms, and dude, they are fucking beautiful. I wish I got a picture of them. They are fucking beautiful, alright? So I open up the bag and I get to it. I start munching, and I think at first I only did about 1 gram, 2 grams to start. And then, I waited, and eventually it starts kicking in. Shit starts looking real cool. Music was fucking lit. I was just really giggly. Oop, I just dropped something. And, overall, I was just, vibing. And eventually, my homie, my boy, Elliot, he hits me up, he FaceTimes me, he calls me, and he's yo, what are you doing? I'm jack fucking shit. I'm not doing anything. And he's you trying to hang? You trying to slide? And I was low-key, I'm kind of down. But, I was doing laundry, so I was because I didn't want to wear dirty clothes, so I was low-key might have to wait a bit. But he was dude, fuck that shit, get over here right now. And I was okay, but first, you wanna hear something? You wanna know what I got? And I went and I took out the bag, and I was and he was yo, you gotta slide. Now, originally, I didn't want to take too much, because I didn't want to notice when the hit, I took his shit. Now, this does come back to bite me a little later on in the story, but I low-key, I took, fucking 70% of the fucking bag, and I was alright, time to head out. So I head out, and I'm on my way over to my homie's house. He doesn't live that far away from me, and I remember my hair was like all fucked up. I'm like wearing dirty clothes, and I just like I probably looked like a fucking crackhead. And it was like, you know, I'm walking through this like semi nice neighborhood that I like, you know, area that I live in, and I'm like fucking like everybody's like looking at me, or at least it feels like everybody's looking at me, and everything looks weird. And I'm like, I don't know, walking, it was like I was in a cartoon or something. And like whenever cars would like drive by or anything, I would like, you know, like focus on them and like watch them go by, but they would like the motion blur would look really fucking weird and like unnatural, but at the same time it was like it was really cool to like look at, and like everything was like really shiny and just like nice. And yeah, the walk was just like really weird because I don't know, I just like it just felt like people were looking at me. Anytime I would hear like a door open or like somebody talking, I would like look over and like notice them, because for some reason on shrooms, like your senses are just like enhanced, so you like, I don't know, you hear shit like, you know, way better, or at least it feels like that. But eventually I get to my homie's house, and you know, we catch up, we dab up, we talk a little bit, we fuck around, and eventually he takes out a can, makes a little pipe, we go outside, start bumping some Juice WRLD and shit, start bumping some, you know, some music, and, you know, we smoke a couple bowls, and, you know, that really enhances the trip. So at this point, dude, I'm fucking zooming, right? And like I took a little more before I left, because I wasn't tripping as hard as I wanted to. So before I left, I took some more. I don't really remember exactly like how much. Of course, I wasn't like measuring this shit, but I ate a fuck ton. And, you know, eventually all of this starts hitting while I'm at my friend's house. So I'm like sitting like in his bed. He's like in the bathroom doing something. I don't fucking know what. But I'm sitting there on his bed, and I start like seeing fucking like geometric patterns coming out of the walls and shit. And I was sitting there, I was listening to music, and I was like singing along and shit, and like I could hear myself like saying shit, and you know, I knew I was talking, but I couldn't feel my mouth moving. So it was really weird. It was like it was like being in a dream. Like, you know how in dreams you can like move around and you walk and shit, but it's like there's this weird kind of like, I don't know, cloudy, like foggy, like, you know, like filter over it, I guess, and like you don't really feel like yourself moving or like doing stuff, and it's like really hard to remember once you wake up, because once I got to this like point in the trip where it started feeling like a dream, I can barely remember a whole lot of it. Like, I remember getting up and like going over to his, like, he has this little like bucket that he keeps snacks in and shit, and like getting a bunch of Rice Krispies and like munching on those, and like just walking around and being fucking like really just, you know, just feeling zooming and like bumping music and shit. And so eventually we decide to go back to my house and, you know, work on some music, right? So, you know, we walk back over to my house, we're chilling, and we're trying to work on music, but I'm so high that I can't comprehend how to, like, use FL Studio. Like, my brain was complete mush. I couldn't understand shit. I was on complete retard mode. My brain cells were, disintegrating. But I was vibing. I was having a good time. Until, for some reason, I got in this thought loop of, like, thinking, like, I just, like, couldn't understand how, like, language and, like, English worked. I also kept thinking, like, you know, like, I'm gonna, like, die someday, and then, like, you know, then I'm not gonna know what happens. Like, I'm not gonna know what happens after I die, because once you die, you know, like, that's, you know, you're not gonna fucking, like, really know what goes on afterwards, and that really scared me when I was tripping. And, like, for some reason, I just, like, kept repeating what in my head, like, over and over, trying to, like, you know, it was like, I basically just lost my fucking mind, and the word what was the last bit of, like, sanity I could remember, and I was holding on to it very tight. But after that, then I got to the point where, like, it stopped feeling like a dream, and I got out of that thought loop, And then it went from, like, you know, feeling like nothing was real and like it was a dream to everything being, like, hyper real. And it was like I could see clearly for, like, the first time in, like, forever. And it was really weird. I don't know. I just, like, you know, I was in a really good mood. I, like, felt like I was really happy, and, like, everything was, like, so clear. And, you know, music still sounded great, and it was just, like, you know, generally it was just kind of like that for most of the rest of the trip. Not too much interesting happened. Like, we went to 7-Eleven to get some food and, you know, like, ate and shit. And we were planning on, like, having a sleepover and staying the night because he was going to trip too. And I was probably going to take more. We were in a trip together and it was going to be lit, you know, watch some Rick and Morty or something, listen to music and shit. But the reason we didn't... And this part's a doozy. So my cousin gets home from work, right? And he goes and he's gonna go play like some PS4 or something, and he realizes that his controller's gone. I took it because we were gonna play like Black Ops 3 earlier, and I was trying to get one of the 3 controllers to work, but I was so, like, we were so retarded that I couldn't, like, get the controllers to work or anything. And, you know, so he comes and he asks for the controller, and he thinks, oh, well, he's been in my room, and he, like, took my controller. What if he took the shrooms, too? And, you know, of course, I did. So then, you know, he, like, confronts me about it, and he's, like, you know, hella pissed, and he's, like, you know, kind of, like, yelling at me, and I'm, like, you know, like, there was no way I could really, like, deny it, because, like, I took, like, most of the fucking bag, so I was just like, dude, gotta accept my, oh, speak of the devil, hold up, boys, I'll be back. Anyway, so, yeah, anyway, but yeah, so he, like, you know, he's, like, really mad, understandably, to be honest, and, you know, I honestly, oh, there he goes again. Alright, sorry, I'm back, boys. Anyway, so yeah, anyway, at this point, he's like, yeah, alright, yeah, Elliot's gotta go home now, and I'm like, dude, shit. So, you know, I go, I tell him, he leaves, right? And we have, like, a very long conversation where, like, you know, he's basically just yelling at me for, you know, stealing his shit. And, you know, I can't really blame him because it was kind of a dick move to do that, and he probably spent a lot of money on it. But at the same time, not too long ago, I went and got some DXM, and this dude fucking opens my drawer, notices it, and fucking yoinks it from me. So I don't feel that bad about it. So, like, you know, it's kind of an eye for an eye kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of fucked up though, and I do feel a little bad about it, but I got a good trip anyway, and I don't really regret it too much. But anyway, after this, you know, I wait a little bit for him to, like, you know, go to bed. He takes some of, like, the rest of his shrooms, and, you know, he tripped. He told me later that he took too much, and he was, like, low-key tripping pretty hard. I don't remember too much of what he said, but it sounded like he had a pretty crazy trip himself. But, so at this point, I realized that I still had a decent amount of, you know, those shrooms left. I still had a couple of grams, right? So I whip that out, and I eat the entire bag. Now, I don't know why. I honestly probably should have saved it for another day, so I could have had, like, a, you know, whole another, like, day of trip. But honestly, I don't know, I just really wanted to trip again, after that, you know, the trip that happened earlier in the day, and I hadn't fully come down from the first one, so I take that, and I wait a little bit, I'm watching YouTube, I'm chilling, and, you know, eventually it starts kicking in, so I put on some music, and honestly, I was pretty tired. So, you know, I was just sitting there, I was enjoying some, like, closed-eye visuals and just, like, enjoying music and, like, feeling good and shit. But eventually, I kind of, like, passed out, but I still, like, the trip kind of, like, gave me, like, dreams, I guess, or, you know, something like that, because, like, even when I, like, fell asleep and, like, closed my eyes, I was still, like, seeing shit. Like, I was seeing, like, faces and, like, eyes come out of, like, the blackness of, like, sleep and whatnot. And I remember at one point, like, waking up in the middle of the night, and I was hearing, like, music in my head. It was, like, some spooky fucking, like, you know, like, it sounded like some shit that you would hear, like, in the middle of like some fucking like, you know, forest in South America in the middle of the night. Like, it sounded like some ritual music. It was some of that fucking shit, dude. It was weird. And I also, like, I had a bunch of like weird dreams that night, which I'm pretty sure was from the shrooms, because I don't usually dream. So I'm pretty sure that those like dreams were from the shrooms. I don't really remember them too well. All I remember is that they were really fucking weird. But anyway, yeah. I just ended up, you know, I woke up the next day. I was still kind of, you know, feeling good from it. And, you know, for that, the rest of like that day, I was in a pretty good mood. But yeah, that's basically the whole, you know, experience. That's, you know, my best like shroom experience by far. I haven't done shrooms a whole lot, but I do have a few more shroom stories that I can tell. I also have had some really good DXM trips recently that I want to talk about. Like one that I honestly think tops my previous best drug experience that I also have a video about on this channel if you want to go watch that right now. But yeah, that's it for the video. If you guys enjoy these drug stories, which it seems like you do, then let me know in the comments, leave a like, subscribe, all that good shit. You know, just let me know that you guys want to keep seeing this content. I'll keep making it, because I do have a lot of stories to tell. I just need to stop being a lazy fuck and actually tell them and, you know, make these videos. But yeah, without any further ado, I'm gonna head out. You guys should listen to my album if you want. I'm gonna put one of the songs from the album on, you know, this the outro for this video if you want to check that out. And without any further ado, you guys have a good day. You know, stay zooted, and, you know, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. I do not lie, always be facts. Went to your block, now I'm spinning it back. I'm about to blow